then back the other way now. And boom. And back the other way. Boom and boom. Yep, good. Back the other way. Boom and boom. Very good, very good. So like this. So the opposite. So first take your back leg. First take your back leg and come inside with it. Yep. Then torque all the way around. Kick with your. Yep. Okay. And then now you're on this leg. Is that leg landing in the back? Yep. Now you're on this leg. So you do the same thing. Come this way. Yep. And then spin that way. Yep. Now you're back to this leg. Oh. Now this leg comes in. Yep. And that one pulls through. Yep. Good, good, good. Oh yeah. Good, good. Even our frolics can still use your back leg there. Take my back leg all the way around. It lands in the front, and you're going to take your back leg all the way around.
Well, honestly, the first time that they came up to me and said, you know, hey, Mr. Vincent, we want to do a demo team. I mean, my first response was, you guys can do a demo team. You know, I mean, I'll support you, but this is your team. You know, y'all are going to have to put everything together. You guys are going to have to choreograph everything. I mean, it's going to be your team, not my team. You know, it might be our studio's team, you know, collectively, but they were going to have to be the ones to do it. The other thing I told them was, I said, if you put a team together, it's first place or nothing. Like that's what we want. You know, somebody's got to be the best, and we don't apologize for it being us, and that's what I expect out of these guys. And I think that was the thing that kind of galvanized them together, was that expectation. And it was an expectation that I knew that they could reach. You know, I mean, that was kind of the main thing. You know, when I said you have to get first place, it wasn't because it was only because I knew they could, and I just didn't think that they should settle for anything less than that. So that's what happened when the team started to form. When they were like, "Can I do it?" It's like, "Yes, but you have to do it, and you have to win first place."
How did it feel for you, like, actually you got your first look at their performance, at what they had been working on, at all the new stuff? Like, what was going through your mind whenever you saw what they had been putting together?
I was obviously impressed. You know, I mean, you saw the live performance, and I was impressed. They've stepped up. They knew the competition was going to be tough, and they kind of stepped up their game. I mean, they made sure that they put elements from start to finish in there that maybe some teams would have pieces of, but they just wanted to bring it from the beginning into the end. And I don't know. I think that kind of showed me their commitment. That showed me that they really were planning on winning first place.
Talk to me a little bit about some of the karate demos that you have done in the past, or some of the martial arts.
Yeah. Well, the demos of the past were super like old school stuff. You know, we didn't have a lot of gymnastics and flash. I mean, it was some pretty rudimentary martial arts. You know, the combinations were not nearly as dynamic. We had kind of just, I mean, even in my 30s, we had kind of just got to the point where we were getting more creative with our patterns and adding some elements of gymnastics. But yeah, what we did back in the day was you basically did a traditional pattern. You did a couple of self-defense type combinations, and then you broke boards, and that was it. You went home. I think there was two things that I used to do that were maybe kind of outside the box. I used to punch through 3 inches of wood. That was one of the things, and I did that until I popped these two knuckles out and dislocated these two bones. Then I stopped punching wood. And the other thing I used to do was I'd stand somebody on a chair and have them put a pencil in their mouth or a pin cap in their mouth, and I would do some jump spin kicks and knock things out of their mouth. So that was kind of a couple of my little gimmicks. But yeah, the stuff that those guys are doing, nothing to the caliber of that.
So switch gears for me a little bit, and I want to hear a little bit about, it kind of is about the demo team a little bit, so I want to hear about the tribe that you guys have here, what the relationship is like between you and your students.
Yeah, it's a real family dynamic that we have. I think more than anything, I mean, yourself, your brother, your family. I think that kind of explains that dynamic. We have a lot of people who started when they were 4 years old, 5 years old, 6 years old, and so of course that relationship starts off in a young kid's class. But I get to know the parents. I get to know the the siblings, and that just grows. Over the years, and then as the younger kids are being taught by the older kids and the teenagers and the college age kids, those bonds are made there too. And then now these 4, 5, 6 year olds are now 16, 17, 18, and now they're kind of paying back the same things that they had. You kind of set up a microcosm of an amazing society where everybody's in it together and everybody's working hard, and this becomes a lot of people's refuge. It becomes kind of their home away from home, where nobody's judging. Everybody's just here to uplift, and I think that just creates a strong bond. I see these guys tend to do a lot of things socially, and this becomes more than just the martial arts studio. It becomes some of their friend group and their mentoring group, and and we try as much as we can to foster that kind of tribal mentality of we're all in this together. We're all here to help each other out. It's interesting. It really is. It's a unique place. It's funny to me. Like, I come and go throughout the day, and I never know if I show up here at 9 o'clock in the morning or 11 o'clock in the morning or 9 o'clock at night. Like, there might be somebody here. We're not having classes or anything, but people are just here. It's just a place that they want to be. There's this one girl that recently, probably 3-4 days a week, she's sitting in here doing her homework. She's a high school student, and I asked her the other day. I said, "Don't you have a home?" And she said, "Yeah, I'm here." And I think that really kind of explains it. We all kind of feel like this is just another extension of our own home and our own family.
So you started to get into it a little bit. You're gonna dig how I worded this. I know I have it written down. I said, what is it like for you watching a lot of your former little ninjas train your little dragons?
Yeah. I don't want to say full circle because we haven't made it full circle yet, but when I look in that classroom, which is the noise going on in the background right now, when I look at that class and I see 20-something 4 to 6 year olds in there, and I've got 5 instructors in there. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. I've got 5 instructors in there. Only one of those 5 didn't start in that program. Now they're all high school, college age, but all but one of those guys was actually in that class. And the guy that wasn't in that class, he was in the kids class. He just happened to be 7 instead of 4 when he started. It's amazing. It just is, and it's really strong for me too to look at new parents who bring their kids in and be able to say, what we're trying to produce here is what you see in the instructors. When you compliment the instructors and say how great they are with kids and how patient they are, it's because they know no different, because that's where they came from. It's unique. It's super cool. It makes me feel proud, for what we have here. But more importantly, I think it gives me a little faith. A lot of times us old guys say, "Oh, what's this next generation," right? But actually, I have faith in this next generation because I see them every day do amazing things.
I want to know about martial arts as a whole.
Come on, y'all, just walk on through. It's good. How you doing, Holden? No, we're just
just documenting for history, really. Okay, so this is my question: what does martial arts mean to you? Like everything, or if you have it in a phrase or a word, like what does martial arts mean to you? Martial arts to me is everything. That's kind of see if I could break that down a little bit better. So
the martial arts. Let's say Kali, for instance, which is a Filipino brand. Come on through. No, you're good. Yeah. This is casual. So Kali in particular. I mean, there's lots of arts, but Kali is a Filipino art. Well, when you look at Kali as an art, there's things that are in it now that are emphasized now. There's things that was emphasized 20 years ago. There's things that was emphasized 50 years ago. There's things. What following one martial art does is it follows the history and the culture of a civilization. Really, through martial arts you learn about common enemies. You learn about topography. You learn about socioeconomical conditions, because every civilization has a martial art. The Romans had martial arts. I mean, obviously, they would not have conquered the known world if they didn't practice some form of martial arts. So really, martial arts teaches you everything there is to learn, about a civilization. So to me, when you're learning the fighting arts, you're somewhat going back in time and doing things the way they were done hundreds or thousands of years ago. And if you really want to understand a martial art, you really do got to get into who it was that they were fighting. Why were they fighting? What were they fighting for? Because you start to learn about technology, the weapons as they change, as technology changes. So when I say martial arts is really everything, it's all of that because of the history and the culture. And then you take it into the more obvious things, the actual self-preservation and the actual defensive tactics and the things that you learn that are practical self-defense, and that's super important to me too. I think that those are skills that can diminish over time in a peaceful society. But as soon as that society is no longer peaceful, you don't want to have to try to figure this stuff out again. Those warring tactics, those fighting tactics are things that need to be passed down from generation to generation. So many cultures now, even though we've moved to drone planes and dropping bombs, I mean that's the martial art of countries now. But what happens in a country like Australia where you're not allowed to have any type of weapons or guns? Well, now your martial art is all hand to hand. Now your martial art goes back to some of the earliest, most primitive fighting systems. So the aspect of personal protection, the aspect of protecting your family, and then that can also be a form of exercise and physical conditioning and mental conditioning. So it's not as easy as a sentence. What is martial arts to me? Because martial arts is everything to me, from top to bottom.
I know what the answer to this question is going to be, but are you ever going to get bored of martial arts? I get bored of particular arts. I do. There are arts that have a limited amount of information, and once I've learned that information, I do tend to get bored with it. A lot of system or styles. There was one style that I studied for a few years, and I got to this big time test, and to get to this big level, and I achieved that level, and I looked to the guru in that system, and I said, okay, well, now that I've got this level, what do I get to do next? What do I get to learn next? And he goes, oh, well, you've learned it all. So what do you mean I've learned it all? He said, well, that's the whole system, like the entire system. So, well, what do I do now? He said, well, you just get better at it. And that was one of those things where I said, well, man, all right, well, I guess I'm kind of done with this then. I don't think, so I do from time to time, or I have from time to time studied an art where they've taught me everything that's in that art. So I tend to get bored with that. I tend to get bored when there's nothing more that I have to learn. I like to train. I like to keep getting better at the skills that I have, but ultimately, I like the knowledge. I want more information. So, which is why I really do like some of the Filipino martial arts. It's why I do really respect Guru Dan and Asanto, because I could spend a lifetime studying that and never learn it all. Whereas some of the harder styles, some of the karate and taekwondo type styles, there's no secret kick, no secret block. That's been held back that I'm waiting to learn. It's
So yeah, I do. I do get bored from time to time for different arts.
So what advice, I guess like a two-part question. What advice would you have for somebody thinking about trying out martial arts? Like what's going to get them over the edge? What have they not thought of yet?
Most of the time when I'm talking about martial arts, it's somebody who has an interest in it. They've inquired.
Then maybe why martial arts in 2022?
Okay, yeah.
I got into it a little bit. What if you're somewhere? What if you're somewhere? But like in Baton Rouge, why martial arts in 2022?
Yeah. Well, I think there's some pretty obvious benefits that martial arts has for a modern day society. One, that sense of belonging and having a good positive peer group. If you find a good martial arts studio where, top to bottom, people are really there to help each other out, you'll end up helping one another out in every aspect. So as a social connection, as a bond, as a community, an uplifting community, martial arts can definitely, the right place can definitely provide that. I said positive peer pressure. There's a lot of positive peer pressure that comes from martial arts just in the aspect of you trying to perform better and do better. And in order to perform and do better, you're going to have to exercise more. You know what? You might need to hit the gym and supplement. Maybe you got to lay off of that cookie too every once in a while because you're trying to be in shape and not get winded. So obvious major health benefits. We have a lot of students who are older. As a matter of fact, one of our oldest students celebrated his 77th birthday today, actually in class. And it comes to my day class all the time. His name is Ben. And I mean, everybody that comes to the day class brought him gifts, brought him treats. I mean, it was that kind of family atmosphere for him here. But at 77 years old, he's doing this because of the health benefits, mobility, and some of the strength that you lose over time. So just the social structure is healthy for people. The exercise is healthy, and then I'm a firm believer in being able and capable to defend yourself and your family. That is why we focus more on martial before art, and we don't focus as much on martial sport as we do martial being the fighting aspect of martial arts. If I can't protect myself, then I can't be here for my family. If I can't protect my family, then what good am I as a human being? And we're not born with that ability. The whole thing about women's self-defense kind of assumes that just because you're born a man, you can defend yourself. None of these skills you're born with. They're skills that have to be developed, and I think that's super important, especially in today's world.
Instructor demonstrations and the instructor certification kind of process. Can you tell me about how you're feeling for the new IMAS instructor certification? How the national tournament went for that?
What we do with Innovative Martial Arts, which is the big umbrella, the major organization that we are under. David Vincent's Martial Arts is an independently owned school, member of IMAS, which is the bigger group. What we teach here, our curriculum, we certify our instructors to teach our curriculum. Our curriculum is set by me. It's the arts that I learn, it's the arts that I study, it's what I think is important to pass down. Other martial arts academies maybe have gone different directions in their arts, so their curriculum is different. So the way we do things is each school certifies their own curriculum. But IMAS, the big umbrella, IMAS can teach teachers how to teach martial arts. It doesn't matter if you're teaching Kung Fu, if you're teaching Taekwondo, if you're teaching Kali. The techniques of moving information from the teacher to the student, those are universal techniques. So our instructor certification through IMAS focuses on those techniques of teaching martial arts. So it's irrelevant what art is being taught. Every person that goes through our IMAS certification process becomes a more effective teacher, a more motivating teacher. I say it all the time. If your subject is math, you could go through the IMAS instructor certification and you'll be a better math teacher. It's all about how you communicate things for the purpose of learning, of the students learning. It's amazing. I watched it through its development. Spent a lot of time editing the books, and of course, have been through the classes myself. And it's first class stuff. It's really first class. It's really done a lot to help bring my instructors together too, because as they do the class together, now they're all on the same page, the same team. They understand what it takes to communicate the information to our other students. And I've watched them improve as teachers through that program, and I've watched them kind of improve together. Like if one person's doing something, maybe a little different way outside of the format that we like it done, the other ones recognize that and kind of bring them in. Hey, remember, this is how we want to handle this situation. So I think it's done a lot to help build our instructor team as a team unit. It's Crying in Dragons class. Just fix it.
Yes, sir.
And you'll be successful.
My name is Hendricks. I am in 6th grade. I'm a black belt here, and I am going to the tournament.
Awesome. Tell me, what competitions are you competing in? I'm 6 foot.
I am competing in the main event, which is forearm sparring and flag sparring, all in the same ring. I am doing the board break challenge, which is self-explanatory. I've been doing martial arts since I was 4 years old, so that would be maybe 2013.
Okay. What belt right now?
Right now, I am a black belt as of now.
Are you testing at the tournament?
No, sir. No, sir. I am testing in here, the regular testing in April.
Gotcha. Okay. So, first off, which of your events that you're competing in are you the most excited about?
The rings? Like, which competition am I most excited about?
Which event, what might be the discipline, the competition?
I think that I'm most excited about forms because for these past maybe 2 or 3 months I've been putting in the work and sweating and just doing everything I can to make my form perfect, because last time I was at the tournament, I got last place in forms, and I don't want that to happen again. I've just been working and working and working, and I really hope that it all pays off at the tournament.
Yeah. When was the last tournament?
The last tournament was in September, but the last one that I competed in was 2 years ago.
That's the tournament that you're talking about where you didn't do so good in forms?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So you're going back in with something to prove this year?
Yes, sir.
Awesome. I think I'm going to have you show me your form, if you would, in a minute. But we'll talk for a little bit more right now. Do you know anyone that's going to be competing against you? Who you're going to be competing against in the form? Anyone from your school here or anyone else?
It depends. I didn't check my competitor list yet.
Okay.
So there are a couple people that I have assumptions about. Like they do it by.
Ready? 3, 2, go.